Hey y'all, I'm Jovi and welcome back to my channel. Obviously you clicked on this video because you want to know how to become a basketball manager, or like what I do. Maybe you're just interested in basketball, and I am here to answer. So just a little bit of background about me. I go to the University of Pittsburgh. I am currently a senior studying urban studies and getting a minor in public service. I also do a couple of the jobs on campus, other things like that, but that's not why you're here. I kind of want to talk about like my passion for the game and like why I wanted to become a manager. So I started playing basketball in the 7th grade. I absolutely fell in love with it. It was just so amazing, and I just wanted to continue. I wanted to actually play in college, but I continued through my high school years. I had a really great time with my team, and I was just able to develop. I did like summer camps. I got like a little bit of a trainer on the side towards the end of like my junior and senior year, but like just worked really hard. I just absolutely fell in love with the game. Then I started following like stats in college and stuff like that, and then it came time for me to actually pick a university to go to. But I knew at whatever university that I was going to go to that I wanted to be a basketball manager. It was something that my coach talked about towards the end of my senior year. He's like, you got recruited to smaller schools, but maybe you would want to continue. And I was like, yeah, I just want to be around basketball in some capacity. And then he talked about a manager position. I had no idea what a manager was, but I was like, I'm going to do it. So once I got here to Pitt, I was like, okay, gotta find the team, gotta figure out everything. The first thing I did, I think I emailed the head coach, which I absolutely love now. It's just, in retrospect, it's kind of funny now that I did that because me and him were so close and he's so amazing. But yeah, don't do that because that's just weird. Pitt is a D1 Power 5 school, so I'm sure he gets a ton of emails all the time. But as soon as I got to campus, I couldn't find how to get connected right away, so I just started playing like intramural, went out for the club team, worked in campus rec, like did whatever I could do to like just stay around sports. So I continued to do that. Towards like the middle of my first semester, I found this position through the sports nutrition program. So I was like, hey, like, I like sports. Sports nutrition sounds kind of cool. Like, I was at that time a biology major, I think, and she was like, well, you could just come in, but you would be working with like soccer, softball, and baseball. And I was like, cool, whatever. Like, it's a way in the door. Like, it's something. So I went ahead and I started doing that. I did that for actually a couple months, actually, but I think it was like in the same packet or in the same realm of me actually trying to figure out how to become a manager that I found a basketball internship. So it's basically sports nutrition, but in a basketball internship style. So basically just like restocking like their food, like Gatorades, wiping counters, making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And I was like, you know what, this is the closest I'm getting. After that, I would continue to play intramurals and stuff like that. So I just go like pick up the guys, and they had a poster in there saying, hey, we need managers. And I was like, yes, they needed managers and practice players. And I was like, I'll do anything. Like, I don't really care if I come in and wipe the floor. So I did that. I contacted the GA, and then I contacted our DOBO. So a GA is a graduate assistant. It's someone who goes to graduate school at that university, and they work like in the office. They do a whole bunch of stuff, just like figuring out and navigating the entire like operations of basketball and stuff like that while they're in grad school. And then the DOBO is director of basketball operations, so they do everything from like scheduling to like planning event, just figuring out everybody's day-to-day schedules. Like, they do so much, and I love our DOBO, Allie, love her so much. And she literally makes everything run. She is the operations. So after that, I like finally, it took a while for like everybody to get back to me, obviously because it was the middle of the season. I'm very busy, but I finally got in contact with Allie, which is our director of operations, and she told me to come in. I did like an interview style, very lax, nothing too crazy or anything like that, but I was able to come in, like meet the girls, meet the coaches, see the facilities, learn all the codes, like the locker rooms and stuff like that. And I went ahead and I started doing that as well, which was so much fun. I was just starstruck. I remember the first basketball practice I went to, I was standing there with my little towel and my little basketball in my hand, and the girls came out. Like, the energy was just electric. It was wild. Like, I didn't even know. Like, I was in awe, and it was just like a little short practice like in the back gym. Like, it was nothing crazy like what I've seen by now, but I was like, yeah, this is what I want. So after that like first-ish half that I came at like towards the end of the season. I think it was senior night was like one of the few games. I think I did 1 or 2 games that season. That was into my freshman year. I really loved it, wanted to stick with it. The next year, I started off in the summer. I did a little bit of the workouts and stuff, but I don't think I realized how great of an opportunity it would have been to like come in the office a little bit more and do that. Kind of wish I did, but I was still able to come in my sophomore year, came back, went to all the home games and everything. Just learned a lot more, stood in the office. Like I would just go in the office and just do work. I would do my homework and they'd be like, Jovi, can you print this off? I would run to the printer, go do that. And during that time, I was just able to get really close to our staff members, Sean and Shayna. Shayna is our director of recruiting and Sean was our video coordinator. So they're just really awesome people that just really helped me find my passion, and they're just super cool people to talk to all the time, and the work environment was amazing. So I would always come in there. I would do that and everything, and then I just went throughout the season. I picked up a little bit more tasks, helped out with the other managers that we onboarded and stuff like that, took on a bigger role. And then towards the end of my sophomore year, I began to travel, which was completely different from just being like a home manager and going to the whole game. So I traveled, and we traveled to so many different places. I think the first place I went was Louisville, I want to say, and it was just so nice. Like we had a private charter because we are a D1 Power 5 school, so we're on our own plane. The hotels are always nice. Places we eat are always fantastic, 5-star, I feel like. But it's also a lot of work on the road, like constantly like filling up the Gatorade bottles and stuff like that, filling up the cooler, making sure coach has her Diet Coke in the morning, making sure the girls are up, they're dressed with everything on for practice, loading the bus, unloading the bus, deplaning everything, like figuring out everybody has their key cards, everybody's in their room at the right time, getting out their uniforms for the next day. It is busy. It's definitely like, people say 9 to 5, it's definitely like a 7 to 11 every single time we travel. But I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. I love nothing more than to continue to work whenever I can. Like, I mean, it's free travel, free food, free room and board every time you leave, and all I have to do is like reload the Gatorade and stuff like that. So I will say like traveling is a whole lot of fun. Definitely one of the greatest benefits, I think, from being a manager. And I think most people just see that, but they don't see like the hard work that goes behind, especially in travel and stuff like that. But traveling was definitely one of the best perks. We went to Miami, Syracuse, Louisville, and then the last part of my sophomore year, we went to the ACC championship, and we actually beat out Notre Dame, who was actually supposed to win and everything. It was like this major upset, and it was just crazy. It was just an electric feeling, and like the way that the coach, our head coach, just talked to them at the end of that just really pumped me up. We did lose in the next round, but just the way that he was just so proud of everybody. The entire culture of Pitt is he just really wants it for the girls. He wants them to become better people, better players, and just have like a better presence about themselves after they leave as well. So just hearing him was just really great. And I was just like, yeah, this is what I want to do. So that was like a full year. I had gone through all the practices. I had done all the traveling. I had helped even more now with prepping for the road trips, and I took on bigger tasks and stuff like that. So at the end of my sophomore year, after the ACC championship, my Dobo, Allie, again, she reached out to me and asked me to become the head manager. So I started that my junior season, and that was amazing. It was kind of weird because that was COVID-ish time, so it was hard for me to like get right off the bat and start like, you know, planning stuff and everything. But I came in, I was able to take on more roles. So then I worked on contacting restaurants so that we were able to eat and talk about accommodations. I was, you know, helping with little projects in the locker room. I was doing more of like the day-to-day tasks. I was in the office, I was on the phone, helped more with like recruiting spreadsheets, filling out mail and stuff like that. And then in my junior year, we went to the ACC championship again. We traveled. It was just a really great year. Definitely a year of growth. We had a lot of ups and downs. We had some injuries and stuff like that, but our manager group was also very small. There was only 3 of us at first, so it was like a lot of work to do. I feel like most programs have about a solid like 5 to 7 group, maybe a little bit more depending on like how active they are. But we had 3 at the beginning, but 3 super hard workers. We were there from practices, clean up, set up, and we ran like a well-oiled machine, so it worked out really well. And then towards the end, we brought on 2 more managers. And actually today we're interviewing another manager, so I've been helping with that. I will say, like, in terms of just like being a manager, it's more than just like glitz and glamour. It's more than like cool swag. swag and saying like you're part of a D1 Power 5 program. Practices, you can stand and practice sometimes and literally just rebound. You can literally just stand there the whole time and just wipe the floor. You can run the clock. You can do video, like whatever your program needs. You know, the managers are just there to be of help of the staff and the players to make their jobs run a little bit more smoothly. Games, we do game day setup, we rebound, help the girls shoot around, clean up the locker room during the middle, make sure they have like their snacks out and everything, clean it up after they eat. I go in after they travel, they take showers. I have to go take all the sweaty uniforms and pack them in the little suitcase and everything, making sure they got their food. I go out during the middle of the third quarter, call a restaurant, put all the food on their seats on the bus. Like there's a lot of stuff that we do in terms of like office tasks. It's just not always glorious, but it's something that I'm so grateful for that we do and that we have and that I'm just able to be a part of. And I think one of the greatest parts about that, and the reason I really fell in love with it, was because of the staff and how encouraging they are. Obviously not every program is the same, and I'm sure there's other amazing programs out there too, but I think Pitt was just the perfect fit for me. I know a lot of my friends that are at other universities, you know, they have different stories, they tell different things and stuff like that, but it's just been such a great experience. Now in terms of perks, there are a lot of perks. Like I said, you get the swag, you get to travel. We do get paid for each game that we work, but we don't get paid for office work or practice, and that's where I spend majority of the time. Like sometimes I spend like 6 hours just in here doing homework in the office or like setting up and tearing down for practice, but I don't get paid for that. I just get paid for going to travel to games or home games and stuff like that. And then we do get a lot of the scholarship, which I'm very grateful for because it does pay for my education, so I'm really grateful for that. Right now I'm a senior, which is just so crazy to even say, but next year I'm just looking forward to continue to grow in these opportunities. I just remember like the first time I ever like was on the court and I had to like do a drill or something, like I don't know, like I was just so nervous. Like I couldn't even pass the ball. I had played basketball since 7th grade. Like I could pass the ball, but I just could not do it. Like I was just so nervous and shaky, and I was so quiet, and the coach was like, yo, we gotta go, and I was just like so overwhelmed. And at that moment I like walked out because I had to use the bathroom. I was about to cry, but I didn't. I went in there and I just like took a deep breath, and it's like one of the most cliche moments, but I was like, you know, at this point I can like give up and just like go do other things. There's plenty of other things to do on campus, or I can just keep going and become a great manager. I'm here making a video about being a manager, so yeah, I stuck with it. I'm glad that I did. It definitely taught me something different because I'm just the type of person that like gets things. I get things on the first try, and this was something that it took trial and error, like sitting down, doing the clock over and over so I can do it now. Now I can do the clock in my sleep. I can move the camera, do the video. I can pack the bags on my own. I can load up the truck. I have a whole visual. I know what player is allergic to peanut butter. I know what they prefer or how cold they like their water or how warm they like it. And it's just been a really great opportunity. I think it's definitely developed me personally and professionally, and it's something that is definitely not for everybody because I think you can get very overwhelmed, and a lot of people see the glitz and the glamour and they don't see the hard work behind it. But if you're a hard worker and you really love basketball and you're really passionate about it, I definitely would say, you know, go after it. So right now I'm just looking for a GA position, so if you know any, drop them down below, because I think after this I want to go and become a GA, learn a little bit more, and my ultimate goal would be to become a dobo in the collegiate world or professionally. That would be pretty dope too. So I'm open to anything. I'm open to moving anywhere. I always get the comment like every now and then in my DMs or on like one of my older YouTube videos that I filmed like a day in the life of a manager when I went and traveled, so you can check out the video if you want to as well. Give you a little bit more insight. But yeah, people always just ask me like kind of what I do, and that's just like a little bit. There's a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and it's not all set in stone, but it's a whole lot of fun, and I'm so glad that I have it in this opportunity. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was helpful. If you have any more questions, I always leave my socials down below. My DMs are always open. I always answer them, and I'll see y'all in my next video.